good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of The Room on tonight. I know you're like, what's she doing on this Sunday? I know it's not our normal night. But listen, for those who were in the room on this past Thursday night, y'all know we had some technical difficulties, but y'all also know that little guy was like, you can't leave that word hanging. So go ahead and like, love, and share. We're back in the room on tonight. Um, Literally I had people asking me, hey, when you gonna finish that word? Because people were upset, technical difficulty, what's going on? So we're back in the room on tonight. Go ahead and like, love, and share. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to LSC Ministries. LSCM633 Ministries on YouTube. And so again, we want to go back and talk about this thing called assignment. So let me tell you how God works, right? So for those of you who have been following Pray 365, I'm going to put that link in the chat. So today, Prophetess Davina Jeter, and shout out to Apostle Dr. Latrice Williams and the Divine Grace Ministries International Congregation. So Pray 365 is where um, it's a prayer community, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day, twice a day, right? And so today, let me tell you, God will really confirm. If you just listen, He will confirm. And so today, she talked about, Prophet Davina Jeter talked about just your obedience to your assignment, the assignment that God has called you to. And so I wanted to share that with you in the comment section, but I want to get started tonight. We're talking about the assignment. We're talking about assignments. And so thank you to those people. Shout out to those who said, hey, this really blessed me. Shout out to those people who said, I need you to finish that because you were talking to me. And so, in talking about our assignments, you have to understand what an assignment is. And so sometimes we will operate in certain spaces and certain space that God did not call us to. Sometimes we will operate and do certain things that God did not call us to. And so we'll wonder why the frustration, and we'll wonder why it's not working out, because you weren't assigned to it. You weren't called to that. And so sometimes we will say yes to people because, we don't want people to be upset with us. Sometimes we'll say yes to people because we don't want people to feel like, we don't want to be a part of something. Sometimes we want to fit in with other people. We don't want so-and-so to be mad. And so literally you are causing yourself a certain level of frustration because you did not pray about this assignment. You did not pray and ask God, is this what you want me to do? Regardless of what so-and-so may feel about it, regardless of how good I am at doing a certain thing, it may not be the thing that God has called you to do. And so tonight, before we start our work week, before we go deep into Monday, before we go deep into the office work, before we go deep into the ministry for work for this week, let's talk about what that looks like for you. Let's talk about what that looks like for us. What is your assignment? And so, of course, y'all know it's me. It's the wordsmith. And so I just believe that words do have power. So this is why we can't skip over words. This is why we can't skip over what words mean. This is why I encourage you, when you look at a word, look deeper into the word. Look at the spelling of the word. It means something. There's something there. Sometimes when you're looking at a word, the answer is right there. So we're talking about assignments on tonight. So for those who were in the room on Thursday, you're like, okay, I got a little frustrated. This thing kept going out. Come on back. Come on back. If you know somebody who was in that space on Thursday night, come on back. Invite them to come on back. We're finishing the assignment. We're finishing the assignment. And so share this, like this, love this, take notes, because we're going to dive a little bit deeper. Y'all, I told my husband, I'm a little nervous because I don't know. And literally, y'all, when I came in, I was like, God, why couldn't I finish it? He said, because there was more that I needed to tell you. There was more that I needed to tell you. Because had you stopped on Thursday, that would have been the end all be all. But there's more that I needed to tell you. There's more that I needed people to know. So we're going to dive into this thing called the assignment, okay? So when you write out the word assignment, hold up. I wrote it out for you so you can see it. So when you write out the word assignment, this is what it looks like. As-Sign-Ment. Yeah, did y'all see that? Yeah, assignment. This is what it looks like. When you break this word down, this is what it looks like. So there's a greater meaning to what this word has. There's a greater meaning to this word. I'm telling you, log on, call your friends, call your coworkers before they go into the building tomorrow. For those who've been disgruntled, For those who trying to figure out, why do I have to keep waking up going into this space? If you ironing your, go ahead and get your stuff together. Go ahead and iron your clothes and do all your things. Get prepped for tomorrow. But when you go in, you're going to go in with a different perspective. When you go in tomorrow, you're going to go in with a different mindset. Okay. So let's go back and talk about the assignments. I'm going to go back and bring it back up for those who missed on Thursday. So when you talk about assignment, the first part of this word is as, right? So when you're talking about as is the manner or the way something is done, the way that something is done. And so sometimes when we are frustrated with what God has called us to do, it's because we are trying to manipulate and alter the way that He's told us to do it. Well, God, that way makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to do it that way. I don't know those people. That doesn't work for me. That time doesn't work for me. That thing that you're asking me to do is going to take me out of my comfort zone. So when you're talking about assignment, again, the assignment is not about you. It's not about you. It is what God has already ordained to happen in the earth. It's not talking about you. It's what has already been designed to happen, what has already been predetermined to happen in the earth. You're just the one that God is using to do it. You're just the one that God is using to put it in the earth to make it happen. So when you're talking about the assignment as a way of doing something, hey y'all, hey Dr. Marquisa, you're talking about the way of doing something. It's for this reason. And so as you are doing your assignment, as you are doing what you're doing, what God has called you to do in the earth, you don't get to decide what that looks like. You don't get to decide to manipulate it. You don't get to decide if you're going to alter it. It's for this reason. It's for this manner. In other words, God has already laid out how He wants to use you, how He wants this thing to go forth. And so sometimes we will delay because we're trying to manipulate and alter the specified reason. We're trying to alter and manipulate how God wants us to do it to make it comfortable for us. We're trying to manipulate it. Let's be real. We're trying to make sure, okay, I know you said to do it this way, but I don't necessarily vibe with those people. I don't necessarily gel with them. Yeah, but that's who I'm calling you to walk with. So when you talk about the assignment, there's already a specified reason, already a way it's supposed to be done. You are just the one. Your job, my job, our job is to sit and get the download. Sit and get the instructions. That's the first part of the assignment. As the specified way, the specified reason. Your job is to sit and get the download. Sit and get the instructions. Stop trying to manipulate the way. Stop trying to manipulate what He told you. Stop trying to alter what God has already told you to do. And you want to blame the devil and say, oh, the devil's just against me. It ain't the devil. It's you trying to alter and manipulate the hand of God. It's you trying to change the assignment to fit you. Get still. God, how do you want me to do this? So here's the thing. We're living in a society, especially if you are a ministry leader, business too, but we're living in a society where instead of sitting down and getting the instructions from God and doing it the way that He has told us to do it, we will forego our conversations with God and we will look at how somebody else is doing it because it works for them. And so we will assume that that is the way that God wants us to do it. Because what happens is we're looking at the numbers. But just because somebody has the numbers does not necessarily mean they have the nurturing. So that comparison thing can set you back because now you have the numbers, but you don't have the satisfaction of being obedient because that's not the way that God told you to do it. You have the swelling, but what happens when the swelling goes down? You have this large gathering, this large crowd of people, and you feeling good about that thing. But what happens when the swelling, when the numbers begin to decrease, and now you're trying to figure out what happened. What happened is you did not do it the specified way that God told you to do it. You wanted the swelling instead of the indwelling. So for somebody, you need to go back and take a look at that. You need to go back and scratch that person's ideas off the list, because that's not how God told you to do it. It's not how he told you to do it. And even and people have some really good intentions, y'all. They will come to you and say, well, hey, I think you should do this and I think you should do that. And that is all great. Take that to God first. God, I got some insight. I got some suggestions. Let me go ahead and run these by you first. So what happens is, because we think people are successful because of the numbers, we assume that it was sent by God. God is like, no, that's for them. That's not for you. It's not for you. What if, just what if the numbers that they have is just the basement for you? Or what is it that if the numbers that they have, God is like, oh, I'm going to do even much more with you than that. That's minute compared to what I'm going to do with you. But because you did not have enough faith in God, because you tried to manipulate the situation, because you tried to alter the assignment, God is saying, well, since that's what you want, then go ahead and stop at that number. Okay, they had 100. I had 1,000 waiting on you, but you decided that to go with the 100 because the 100, look, it appealed to you. I had 1,000 sitting over here waiting on you, but you wanted to stop at the 100 because it looked good, because of the swelling. What happens when the swelling goes down? There is a specified way that God is telling you to do something. Let me tell you something. For what's happening in the earth now, the enemy wants us to get our eyes off of what God is telling us to do. We've heard the word blueprint quite often. The enemy wants us to get our eyes off of what God is telling us to do and onto what somebody else is doing, because what's happening is everybody is not going to be reached the same way. Everybody's not going to be reached the same way. Just because we have not seen it before does not mean that it's not going to happen. It does not mean. It just simply means that God is waiting for you to give your yes to the specific way, the manner, the reason that he told you to do it. He's waiting for you to come into agreement with the way that he is telling you to do it. Let me tell you something. It took me a long time to learn that Gina can't be anybody else. I can't be anybody else. I've tried. I've tried to be other people. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you why. So the next part of this word, assignment, of course, is the word sign in the middle, right there in the middle. Sign. We talked about this a little bit. Sign. So a sign is an identifying mark. It's an identifying mark. It is proof. It is indication. It is indication. It is motion or gesture by which a thought is expressed. You are the sign that God is using. You are the motion. You are the gesture that God has decided to use in the earth to prove that he is still God. His signature is on your life. There's an identifying mark that is on you, that is specific for you. It is just for you. He has signed his name on your life. So let me tell you, when you sign a document, when you put your signature on something, you are giving that person or that entity authorization to activate and to operate. Because the signature has been on your life since before you showed up to the earth, you have been given the authorization to do whatever it is God has called you to do in the earth. But our issue is we're waiting for somebody else to give us permission. And God is saying, well, wait a minute. Are you trying to say that somebody else's voice takes precedence over mine? I've given you permission. What are you waiting on? Who are you waiting for? My marking is on you. You have been identified as one that I have chosen to operate in the earth, to go and to operate, to be put in motion. The other thing about a sign, it says it is used in place of words. Again, we said to represent a complex notion. In other words, sometimes you don't have to say anything. We talked about the stop sign. When you pull up to the stop sign, you know what to do. You know what it means. When certain people see you in certain places, they already know what's up. They already know why you're there. Sometimes it's just you showing up. Is the sign. It is the reason. It is the method. It is the way. It is the manner by which God is operating in the earth. You are the sign. You're looking for a sign, but you are the sign. You are the sign. Sometimes just showing up. Sometimes you don't have to open your mouth. Just your presence alone makes a difference. Well, God, what do you want me to say? Sometimes I don't want you to say anything. Sometimes he just wants you to show up. Sometimes he's just like, just be quiet. Just go sit in the room. Just go sit in the room. So a sign is something material that stands for, or it signifies something spiritual. There's a reason that you're called to do what you're called to do. There's a reason that you're called to do what you're called to do and how you are called to do it. There's a reason. There's a reason for it. Is this blessing anybody? Is this helping anybody? I know it's helping me. I had to go back and take a look. I had to really go back and sit with this. I had to go back and take a look at this and say, hey, there's some things I need to kind of go back and regroup on. Because there are some assignments that I have pushed to the side because it didn't look like somebody else's. There are some assignments that I have pushed to the side because God, well, who's going to help me? Here's the thing. I want you to answer this question for yourself. You don't have to answer it in the chat. This is rhetorical. If you want to answer, great. What assignments have you dropped because somebody else wouldn't help you hold it up? What assignments have you dropped or you let drop because you felt like there was nobody else to help you hold it up when it wasn't theirs to hold up? It belonged to you. What assignments have you pushed to the side? What assignments have you let drop because you feel like God wasn't nobody else there to help me hold it up? What are they? How long has it been since you revisited it? You're trying to figure out why this new thing is not working because you didn't finish the old thing. You didn't finish the old thing. So the new thing's not going to work because it's incomplete. Because what you did not know is the old thing is connected to this new thing that you're trying to do. So it's not going to work fully until you go back and complete it. The manner as sign, the manner in which God is using you, the manner in which he has identified himself in the earth through you, the manner in which he has proven himself, the manner in which he is moving, he is in motion through you, through what he has given you to do. Assignment. So the meant part is a concrete result. In other words, the reason he's giving you to the reason he's giving you to do it the way that he's calling you to do it, to move in the earth, to operate in the earth, to be an indication of who he is in the earth, because there's something concrete that's supposed to come out of it. But here's the thing with the assignment. Oftentimes with assignments, we are looking for it to bless us. What am I going to get out of it? You're going to get the satisfaction of being obedient. That's what you're going to get out of the assignment. You're going to get the satisfaction that you are giving God the glory. So sometimes we get frustrated with an assignment because, like, okay, God, how did that benefit me? Sometimes it's not going to benefit you. It's to be a blessing to somebody else. You're just the one that He used to do it. Is that not enough? Is that not enough? So when you say meant the MENT part, the meant part is a part of the etymology, a part of the definition of that word is to be an agent. You are just a representative. You're the one to manage. You're the one to steward the action. So let's go back as the method, the way God is using you, the way He has identified you, the way He has put your life in motion to get some concrete results, but He's using you to be the steward over it. That's what your assignment in life is. You are a steward of motion. You are a steward of proof. You are a steward of the fact that there is a marking that God has put on your life that gives you authorization to be who He called you to be. Here's the other piece of that. Know what your assignment is. Know what your assignment is. Just because it sounds good for other people doesn't mean it's meant for you. Just because it's trending doesn't mean that it's meant for you. It's not meant for you. Yes, I know you're good at it. Yes, I know this is your thing. Yes, I know you've had contract after contract after contract for it. Yes, I know you are the guru. Yes, I know people are coming to you because you're good at what you do. But suppose God is saying, not in this season. Not in this season. Know what your assignment is. Well, hey, they're making $1 million over here. Let me run over here. Well, hey, look like they're starting a nonprofit over there. Let me run over here and start one too. That may not be your assignment. That may not be the way that God wants to move in the earth through you. Know what your assignment is. Here's the other piece. Know who and what it's meant for. Who are you called to? We want to say, oh, I'm called to the nations. But what if the nations don't want what you have? Because that ain't the nation that you're called to. Who is it meant for in this season? Who is it meant for? Where are you meant to operate in this season? You have to know where are you to be put in motion in this season? Where are you to show up in this season? See, the world's got you thinking that you got to be all over the place. Sometimes even in ministry, we got you thinking that you got to be all over the place. That's how people get burned out. That's how you get drained very quickly. Know what it is you're supposed to do. Know who you're called to. Know where you're called to. And here's the other piece. Know when the assignment is over. Can I tell y'all, I said this a little bit. I don't know if people caught it, but this past Thursday, literally God has been dealing with me about some things about assignments, right? And so for those who don't know, I feel like I've been in church all my life, literally all my life, PK, the whole 9 yards. So my dad was a pastor and I've been to, a couple of different churches. Within this certain denomination. And so, and even in non-denominational. So every church that I've gone to, let me tell y'all something. If you know anything about me, I am loyal. If you know me, I am loyal. Loyal. I am loyal. There have been times when I have pushed my assignment to the side because God, I got to help them. I got to help them move forward. I got to help. But it wasn't what He was telling me to do. It was because it was comfortable. It was because I didn't want anybody to say that I wasn't helping. It was because I didn't want a bad reputation. But I was so out of alignment. And can I tell you how I know I was out of alignment? Because I was frustrated and they weren't. But God, I'm helping the church move forward. I was angry, bitter, hurt. Let me tell you what. So of course, when we're in certain places and we're helping certain people and we're loyal and we're doing this and we're doing that, we think that we're doing it for God. And God is like, yeah, but you didn't pray about that first. I could have told you don't pick that up. I could have told you to put that down. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, Apostle Latrice, let me tell you, we here. Loyal. And so what the hurtful part is, the hurtful part is when you have been loyal to a certain place, and here God is saying, "Hey, I'm going to push you out here to do this thing, to do your quote unquote your own thing," and you look around and the people that you were loyal to are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. It makes you angry. It makes you bitter sometimes. It's hurtful because you're saying, God, I poured this into them and I did this and I showed up and this and other, this and other. He said, yeah, you did. But some of that stuff I didn't tell you to do. Some of that stuff I didn't tell you to do. He said, I could, if you had asked me, I could have told you they weren't going to be loyal. I could have told you that they weren't going to do what you did for them. I could have told you that. But you just assume. Y'all know what they say about assuming, right? I ain't gonna say that, but y'all know what they say about assuming. And so here's the thing. I hope this helps us out. Hebrews 13:5-6. Hebrews 13:5-6. This is coming from the Message Bibles. It says, don't be obsessed with getting more material things. Be relaxed with what you have. Since God assured us, I'll never let you down, never walk off and leave you. We can boldly quote, God is there, ready to help. I'm fearless no matter what. Who or what can get to me? So here's the fault that we have. Those of us who are loyal. We expect ourselves from other people. We just do. We expect ourselves from other people. And when they don't come through, we are disappointed. We are hurt. We are disheartened. We are all the things as they say. But God is saying, hey, if you go back and read that word, I never told you that they was going to stay with you all the time. I said I would never leave you or forsake you. I gave you my guarantee. I didn't give you theirs. Is this helping? So I really do. That freed me for real. But God, I'm starting this church, and where the people at? The people that I stayed, and he was like, chill with all that. They ain't coming, girl. They ain't coming. They're not coming. God, it's year 6. He said, yeah, I know. He said, they ain't coming. Because you did not consult me all the time about your assignment in that season. You held on when I told you to let go. Because you didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You didn't want to be offensive. And so now when I called you to the assignment that I called you to, you're looking for them to be there and you forgot to look for me. You were banking on them being there and you forgot that I told you that I would never leave you. I would never forsake you. That it's going to work because I gave you to do it. I put it in you, not them. Let's be real. Recently, God had to help me. He said, Gina, do you realize that people are people? Even the people that we're close to, even the people that we feel like we know these people. He's like, yeah, but they still people. They are still people. Some of you are wondering, why, God, why did you call me to this hard thing? Because I'm with you. But you keep calling me the hard stuff. Yeah, because I'm going to keep being with you. I'm developing you. Think about developing something. When you build a building, when you're constructing something, there has to be some hammering, there has to be some drilling, there has to be some tightening. It does not feel good. But God, they didn't have to do all of that over there. Yeah, that's over there. I'm calling you to something greater. So when you in that classroom and they keep giving you the children that they're giving you, He said, because I'm with you. He said, because here's the thing. You think that they're looking at you. They're not looking at you. They're looking at me operating in and through you. That just helps somebody go to work tomorrow. Know who you're called to. Know why you're there. And if you don't know, ask God, why you got me here? Why do you have me here? Let me tell you something else. I told you I would go hard for people, go hard for different places, go hard in ministry, and this and the other. I had one experience, y'all. I was the choir director, worship minister, whatever you want to call it, and so literally we had this concert or anniversary, choir anniversary, what this that it was. Let me tell y'all what happened. Um, when I tell you people can tell you loyal, going hard, right? So we had this meeting and they said, "Oh, we decided that we're going to honor somebody." Guess what? Y'all, I just assumed. I was like, "Oh, that is so sweet. That is so wonderful. That is so nice, God. Look at you. Thank you." Guess who it wasn't? Guess who it wasn't? Guess who it was? The person who hardly lifted a finger to do anything. Guess who it was? It was a person that they were familiar with. So me and myself, let me remove myself from this. And then it was like, well, you know, well, why did you stop doing? Why did you stop doing? Well, why did you? Me and God had to have a long conversation. He said, because I didn't tell you to do that. So here's the thing. I felt rejected. So this is what the enemy will do. The enemy will use that spirit of rejection to cause you to abort the assignment. He will cause that spirit of rejection to help you to say, hey, they don't care about you. They ain't even thinking about you. All the stuff that you're doing, they wouldn't do it for you. So now you feel rejected. Now you feel like, God, why am I really doing this? The enemy wants you to abort the assignment. He wants you to give up. He wants you to drop it. Not if God didn't tell you to. Not if he didn't tell you to. Here's the other piece about your assignment. Remember the reason. For this reason, you have been authorized to activate, to be in motion, to show up because there's something concrete that God wants to do in the earth and he's doing it through you. Ephesians 2 and 10 says, for the New International Version, it says, we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works which God prepared in advance for us to do. Here it is. In order to be God's handiwork, I said this on Thursday, in order to be God's handiwork, your hands have got to work. It's not just going to fall into your lap. You have to be committed to it. You have to put the work in. God, it's not working because you're not making the effort. You're not even committed to it. You're not even committed to it. Here's the other piece. How do you want somebody else to appreciate and help you when you loathe the assignment? How is that you want somebody else to invest in you, somebody else to sow into you when you won't even sow into the assignment yourself? How is it that you want somebody to help you and somebody to appreciate what God is calling you to do when you hate and you literally curse the assignment with your words and your actions or lack thereof? You complain about the assignment every chance you get. So why would he send somebody to help you? When you don't even like the assignment, you don't even want to do it. Here's the other piece. I shared this. I think I posted this yesterday. Sometimes we will in the attempt to help everybody else stay awake to their assignment, sometimes you will fall asleep on yours. It's all right to help people, but know your boundaries. It's all right to be a help to people. It's all right to sow into what people are doing, But don't use it as an excuse to not do what you're supposed to do. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes we are so bent on helping other people stay woke and stay awake until we fall asleep on our own assignments. Lord, wake us up. If you have fallen asleep, that is my prayer. Lord, wake us up, shake us and wake us. Because what you have cannot be missed in the earth for such a time as this. Do y'all see what's happening in this earth? Do y'all see what's happening to the minds and the spirits of people? And you think that your assignment is not necessary, baby? Everything you do is necessary. But you got to come into agreement with it. You may not like it, but you've got to come into agreement with it. Let me tell you something. Here's something else. Look at the word assignment again. Look at the Jesus. Look at the word assignment again. Some of us stop. Hear me clearly. Okay, I'm going to give you this assignment. Write that word down. Write the word assignment down. And I want you to circle the first 3 letters. Write that word assignment down and circle the first 3 letters. So some of us stop because people act like that. Some of us stop because people act like those first 3 letters. So we give up. God, I'm not going to do it. I'm not dealing with these people. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So some of us will stop. That's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to stop because some people will act like the first 3 letters in that word. We get frustrated. We get angry. We get bitter. We get mad. But you got to look towards me. I didn't tell you to look at them. They're not going to always be for you. Some people, let's be real. Everybody's not going to always be for you. Everybody's not going to always be willing to help you. You're going to encounter some people, godly people who say that they're godly people. You're going to encounter some people who are going to act like the first 3 letters of that word. But guess what you got to do? Keep going with the assignment. Keep going with the assignment. Whew. Prophetess Davina said it today. She was like, hey, what is your disobedience costing you? So here's the thing I wrote down, and I think I dropped the link. If you did not get a chance to go back and look at Pray 365 at 5 p.m. watch, go back and look at it today. It was a whole blessing, especially if you are a leader, especially if you have an assignment and you've put that thing to the side. You got to pick it back up. You got to pick it back up. So partial. So here's the thing. Oftentimes we will be partially obedient, but still want a full blessing. And have the nerve to actually look for a full blessing, a full harvest. He's like, you didn't even finish the assignment. You're doing the bits and pieces and the parts that you like. You're doing the bits and pieces and the part that feel comfortable to you. No, I need you to do the whole thing. I need you to do the whole thing. You want to stop midway and ask me for more. For some of us, no. The answer is no. 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 No, you got to finish this thing. I don't know what your thing is. You got to finish this thing. Let me tell y'all something. So my husband and I had the opportunity to hang out this past Wednesday. Tasha Cobbs Leonard did her live recording, this, that, and the other. And so I'm looking on the stage and I'm looking at all these people singing. And I'm looking at all these people coming up on the stage. And it was like 1,511 people. And I'm looking at all these people and they're operating in their gift and this and the other. And I'm looking on the stage and I'm like, but God, he said, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. He said, what you're not going to do is talking about, okay, well, he said, because I gave you an assignment, you put it to the side. I gave you a voice to be able to sing. A lot of people didn't know how to sing. I gave you the voice to sing. You felt like you couldn't, you felt like it wasn't going to be good enough. So you put it to the side. I've given you the mind and the hands and the ability to write, but you put it to the side because you feel like it's not as good as somebody else's. What have you dropped? Because you're comparing it to somebody else's. What assignments have you dropped because somebody else won't help you hold it up? God has the power to help you hold it up. He said, I will never leave you or forsake you. I'm telling you, every assignment, everything that God has called you to do, if you have dropped it, go back and pick it up. For some of you say, well, that season has probably passed. You don't know until you ask him. There's a reason you are called to do what you are called to do. Well, it's too big. He didn't tell you to do it by yourself. Just needs you to be available to do it. So whatever it is, let me say this. I'm struggling with the body of Christ, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm struggling with the body of Christ because we are so gifted at doing so many things, but we have decided to shrink back. And so the world is putting products out there. The world is putting things out there for our children to watch. The world is putting things out there, and guess what we do? We go and pick up everything that the world is putting out there. When God is saying that ain't how that's supposed to work. That ain't how that's supposed to work. I've given you dominion. I've given you authorization to do some things. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? First, okay. For those who don't know for those who don't know, this whole live thing is a stretch for me. They said, but you do it every Sunday, this and the other on everything. It is a stretch every single time. Every single time. And so literally I've been complaining about the stuff that people are putting out there. And God, I can't believe they did this. Can't believe they had the nerve to say that. You mean to tell me they thought that that was okay? This and that. He said, yeah, but where are y'all? Y'all sitting back criticizing. When the assignment that I've given you is life changing. So yes, if they don't know that you're there, they're gonna gravitate toward the stuff that they see. We are sensory people, sensory driven. They're gonna gravitate to what they hear. Where's your voice? Where's what I've given you to say? Where's what I've given you to do? You know why they're gravitating towards the world? Because they don't see my kids. They don't see my children doing it. So of course they're gonna gravitate to what they see. So the next time we try to complain about what the world is doing, we're gonna have to do some self-checks. Where are your lives? Where's your voice? Where's your product? Where's your music? Where are your books? Where's your group? Where's your ministry? Where's your clothing line? Where's your business? I want to say my name is Gina, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So listen, I do hope that this was a blessing to you. I had to sit with this. I'm still sitting with this. I'm still sitting with some things that I put down, just wrote it off. This season is probably past. I'm probably not gonna do it, God. No, no, no. What you gonna do is you're gonna go back and you're gonna look at everything that I told you. But God, they doing it over there. Yeah, but you're not doing it. They're not gonna do it like I told you to do it. You have an assignment in the earth. It is needed for such a time as this. Keep going. Let me tell you why. This ain't in none of my so you remember I asked you what did you drop because you feel like you don't have anybody to help you hold it up. You know why the people sometimes that you think should be able to help you hold up certain things. You know why that people that we think should be loyal to us like we were loyal to them. You know why they couldn't do it? Because they didn't have the capacity for it. Because what God has called you to do is so heavy. If they were to try to help you hold it up, they couldn't do it because they don't have the capacity for it. But He has given you the power and the strength to do it. And the help that He sends may not be the help that you're familiar with. Get out your comfort zone, get out your feelings, and get to work. If you're on that job, you're like, oh, why I gotta do it? They always calling me to do. You know why? Because there's something in you. There's something in you. There's something in you. It's the God in you. It's the God in you. Accept it. You have been authorized. Come into agreement with who God called you to be. Come into agreement with what God has called you to do. And as soon as you do it, I guarantee you, you're going to see a difference. You're going to see a difference. Stop. I can't tell you how many times I keep hearing it. Stop shrinking back. There are people literally, there are people who have had to push me to the forefront. And I thank God for them every single day. Sometimes I still don't want to be out there, but I thank God for them every single day. Um, so yeah, that's all I got. So get back to your assignment. Get back to it. I hope you'll share this with somebody. I really do. I hope you'll share this with somebody. And I'm so serious. It is time for us to get to work. It's time for you to get out your feelings. Some of us are going through this same cycle. It's a woe is me. We go into isolation. And nobody is dismissing the fact that people go through things. Yes, you have those seasons where you go through things, but that does not mean that you drop the assignment. That does not mean that you forget that there is a way that God is calling you to do something. There is a manner in which He's calling you to do it. He's calling you to be the proof in the earth. He's calling you to get into motion because there are some concrete things that He's calling you to steward. And in order to steward them well, you've got to pick up the assignment again and get to work. Okay? That's it. That's all. That's all I got. That's all we're saying. Don't let people deter you. People gonna be people. People are going to be people. Again, some people gonna be them first letters, them first three letters in assignment. They're gonna be them first three letters every single time. I don't care how anointed. They don't care how anointed you are. Some people, it's just people, y'all. Once you learn the dynamics of people, you can move a little bit better, a lot freer. But what we do is we expect ourselves from other people. And sometimes it's just not going to happen. Even the people that you're close to, it's just not going to happen. But when God tells you that season is over, let it be over. I have held on. I have stayed in places and at churches way longer than I should have. Poured way more than I should have. Do you think some of them, there are people who have called me their spiritual daughter and this, that, and the other? You think one time they've asked me how's PowerPoint Christian Ministries? Not one time. You think they've asked me how can I be a blessing to LSCM633? Not one time. I was angry. I was hurt. I was mad. I was bitter. And God was like, you're going to have to let that go. Because I never told you that they were going to be there for you. You just assumed it. You just assumed that they were supposed to be there for you. He said, girl, everybody can't handle what you got. They don't have the capacity for it. But there are people who I've sent you. There are people who I've connected you with that do. So if you are still disgruntled, let it go. Let it go. Ask God to heal your heart from that. And so there are two words that He has given me to help me get through these seasons. He said, I'm going to guard you and I'm going to guide you. And I want to share those same two words with you. I'm guarded and guided. I'm guarded and I'm guided. When you go in that building tomorrow, or if you're logging on to whatever you're doing, whatever your occupation is, whatever your assignment is, go full speed ahead, knowing that I am guarded and I'm guided. In Jesus' name. Listen, I thank God for this opportunity to be able to come back and share with you all on tonight. If you are led to sow, if you're led to sow into LSCM 633, please do so. It's not about the amount, it's whatever God is telling you to do. Cash App $ LSCM 633. That's Cash App $ LSCM 633. Also, if you want to know more about us, you can go to Linktree/LSC Ministries. Click on many of those tabs. There's so many tabs on there to tell us what we do, to tell you what we do and what we're about. I want to say thank y'all. Share this with somebody. Share this with somebody. So again, if you did not get a chance to take a listen to Pray 365 today, the 5 p.m. Watch with Prophetess Davina Jeter, I want you to go back and take a listen to that. When I tell you, if you are a leader or and not just in ministry, but any capacity, not even a leader, but if there's something that God is calling you to do, go back and take a listen to that. Like literally, a lot of us have been so out of order. So out of order. Well, God, it don't feel good. Well, God, okay, I did part of what you told me to do. Yeah, but you ain't do all of it. but you still expect me to bless you top notch. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, Captain. So go back and pick up the assignment. Go back and do what you're supposed to do. Stop expecting yourself from other people. It just ain't gonna help. It's just not gonna work. I'm telling you, take it from me. It will cause you years of just being hurt and angry. And I mean, when I'm talking about tears, like tears, like hurt, like people that you grew up with, people that you've been there for late in the midnight hour, and you look up late in your midnight hour and they ain't nowhere to be found. They sleep. It wasn't them though. He said, you stayed longer than you should have. You expected me from the people. I'm God. I'm God. So let God work in you and through you. Again, I hope you'll share this with somebody. So I just wanted to come back and bring this back to you. Thank you for those who tried to stay in on this past Thursday. We're here every Thursday. Join us again this coming Thursday. I'm excited about what's coming up for LSCM633. Yes, a whole like snoring sleep, like slob and everything, right? But no, don't get so caught up in expecting you from other people. That is a good way for bitterness to set in. That is a good way for hurt and anger to set in. Be open to who God is sending you and who God has sent you. Be open to it. Be open to how He's telling you to do it, and who's. Sometimes we will limit ourselves because we're so used to certain people. We're so used to certain people. Um, yeah, I- they're people. They're people. He said, "I will never leave you or forsake you. I will." You got to rely on it, like solely rely on him and follow every single direction, every single instruction that he's telling you to follow. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't understand it. God, this makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't. But I mean, again, I'm going to guard you and I'm going to guide you, but stick to the assignment. Stick to it. Stick to your yes. Stick to your yes. Stick to your yes. That's from PowerPoint Christian Ministries. Stick to your yes. Stick to your yes. Stick to your yes. So again, what have you dropped because you waiting somebody else to pick it up and help you? Go get it. Go pick it up yourself. He's gonna give you the power, the might, and the strength to do it. You are guarded, but you're also guided. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. So as you're getting ready to go to start your work week, think about these things. Think about these things. Sit with the assignment. Go back and sit with it. Go back and sit with it. Don't, here's the other piece, and I'm gonna let y'all go for real. Don't sit and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that. No, that's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to sit and sulk, and he wants you to feel bad, and he wants you to be, just regret, and he wants you to take the next 6 months and cry about what you did not do. And God is like, all right, you didn't do it. We faced it. Come on, repent. Okay, all right, let's pick up and go. Let's go. Because it's a whole world waiting out there for you. It's a whole world in need of what you have. So, listen, y'all, share this with somebody for real. Share this with somebody. And if you need help, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but if you need help with your assignment, if you need help, if you need a certain level of accountability, if you need, reach out to us. Reach out to us. Reach out to us. Reach out to us. I'm going to put our information in. Well, you can go to Linktree too, but it is LSCM. Yeah, wait a minute. Y'all see I'm looking, right? That's because I ain't got my glasses on. Okay. So email us, LSC Ministry 633. If you need further assistance. Again, if I ain't got it, I'll help send you to the people who do. So listen, I love y'all. Hey, don't forget, pray 365 in the morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are, PowerPoint Christian Ministries, hey, come and hanging out with us every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all of our information is on our websites. I got to shout out to Catalyst 360. Shout out to my managing partner, Apostle Dr. Jeter, Darius Jeter. So hey, if you business leader, if you're in business, ministry, whatever, look, y'all, I'm serious about these assignments for real. For real. So and y'all hold me accountable. Y'all hold me accountable. Okay, I know y'all are waiting to this on the sequel to Face Value. It's coming. It's coming. I'm not just saying that. It's coming for real. So breathe. It's okay. Nobody's gonna beat you up about it. It just is what it is right now. Go back and pick it up. This is literally God saying it's not too late. It's not too late. So don't go sit and mope and I can't believe I did this. Why, God? Why am I like this? He's like, hey, it happens. I already knew you was gonna trip. Come on, pick it back up and let's go. So I love y'all. I pray that you have a great week. Pray for this world. Pray for this world. Pray for this country. Pray for people. Pray for the minds of people. Y'all, I'm so serious. Oh, that's the other thing I want to say. So for Surge, for PowerPoint Christian Ministries, for those who know, I pastor PowerPoint Christian Ministries. Our Bible study series for however long God wants it to be is bound. It's bound. Believers operating under the navigation of demons. I know, real deep, right? So if you want to join us every Tuesday, because what we're seeing is, what we're seeing is some activity in the earth, and it is on the rise. So our hearts and prayers go out to those who are being just affected by violence, the spirit of murder and anger and rage, and it's that's why your assignment is necessary. I'm telling you, the enemy wants to make you think that it's not. People need what you have. What you have is life changing, life altering for the good. So let's get to work. I love y'all. Have a great week. Thank you for joining us in the room. And we'll see y'all in these Jesus streets. I holla.